heavens, welcome to my August TBR. I have plans. I have big plans for August. So some of this is actually going to be August and September because we are going to be getting to my witchy readathon. That is one of the things I'm doing. So I think I mentioned it in a few videos back that I was wanting to do all of my witchy book reads. So I have an entire shelf and we'll go through some of them and then some of them over there. That is witch books, right? So I love a good witch book, and I am firmly back in my romantasy, fantasy, spooky. Clearly, I'm already in the autumn. What am I doing? Sorry, I'm still not particularly well. My autumn spooky vibes. I'm so into it. So I am not gonna fear the flames. I'm gonna get on my steed, I'm gonna don my silver cloak, and I'm gonna ride out to the Arcana Academy with a stop at Neverthorn. And if you got that, leave me an emoji of a dragon down below. But that was an amalgamation of some of the new releases I'm gonna be reading this month, because there are some incredible new releases as well, mainly romantasy, fantasy, that I'm just I am so hyped to read, and I'm looking over there because I have some of them already. And then there's one down there that I'll have to get, so I'll have to do my disappearing act again. But let me stop rambling and let's go through it. So the other thing that I'm super into at the moment is urban fantasy. I'm very much in my urban fantasy mood as well, and I blame Terror at the Gates. Yes, Scarlet and Claire, I'm looking at you. I am also doing a Crescent City reread. So I read the first book. Hold, please. I read the first book, House of Earth and Blood, when it first came out, and I think it was during the pandemic. So when was the released? 2020. Yep, it was during the pandemic. I remember sitting there just reading this book, Chonka, and absolutely loving it. This is one of my all-time favorite fantasy series, one of my all-time favorite urban fantasy series. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, after reading Terror at the Gates, which is unbelievable, and I feel like if you like Crescent City, you'd like Terror at the Gates, I was like, I need to reread this. I'm currently rereading this on audio because my library actually has the audiobook, which is really handy. So I'm kind of just a little over halfway through. And I think I got like halfway into the second book and I never read the third book. So I'm going to be reading the entire series. Yeah, bless my eyes. And also I want to get really nice copies of these because I had a nice hardback copy when it first came out. Somehow I unhauled that and I've got these copies, but I don't like them. But anyway, I can read them and then get some nice copies. So if anybody knows any great special editions. But yeah, that has also sparked that off. So I'm going to be doing a bit of an urban fantasy readathon as well. So I've got some books here. I've got some others. I'm going to be doing a whole video on like my favorite urban fantasy. One of them is Filthy Rich Vampires, and this is by Geneva Lee. I've just been wanting to read the series. I keep seeing it and I'm like, you know what? It just sounds like it's going to be fun. It sounds like vampires meets like dark romance, mafia, that kind of thing. I'm hoping that's what it's going to be. I also have Filthy Rich Fae somewhere, the other series this is by Geneva Lee, same author. So I'm really hoping, this is Juliana Rousseau has a problem. He's single and he's the world's wealthiest vampire. And the social season has begun, and basically he needs to find himself a bride. So that sounds like fun. Can't wait to read that. I'm also currently, because Terror at the Gate, I'm just going to keep going on about this, like, Scarlet and Claire. I was like, I'm going to read some more Scarlet and Claire. So I am currently reading her Touch of Darkness, so Hades and Pesphanie retelling, which is also urban fantasy, and it's fantastic. I'm having a great time. And that kind of made me go, oh, I have that Katie Roberts book I've never read, Neon Guards. And I hunted high and low for this cover, okay? Because I hate the other covers. So this came all the way from Germany for me. Yeah, thank you. This is, it was secondhand, but like, look at the quality of that. That's amazing. So this is Neon Gods, Katie Roberts, and this is also Hades and Persephone retelling, but it's like urban fantasy, kind of set in a sort of a mafia type of thing, and political. So it says, society darling Persephone plans to Did I say that right? I say it weirdly. Plans to escape the ultra-modern city of Olympus and start over far from the backstabbing politics of the 13 houses. But all that's ripped away when her mother ambushes her in an engagement to Zeus, the dangerous power behind the glittering city's dark facade. So it sounds really good. I believe, if I'm correct, this series, whereas the Touch of Darkness series is Hades and Pesphanie, and it's a kind of the story continues. Whereas this one, I believe each book in the series focuses on a different couple. So we'll see, but I've been wanting to read this. This is literally, I've been wanting to read it forever. And then the other one that I still haven't gotten to is Robin on the Oak Throne, and this is by Kaelin. This is the second book to Holly and the Wren Library. This is very, very much urban fantasy. I adored the first book, kind of set in an alternate New York where there was a war between the beasties and the humans. The beasties won, of course they did. And it focuses on this girl who is a thief to make ends meet. She breaks into a apartment and she's like, I really just hope this isn't a monster's apartment, you know, because that would be bad. And guess what? Yeah, it's a monster's supernatural apartment. And he then doesn't get rid of her, but tells her, I need you for a special job and you can kind of work off a debt. And she does that and things go from there. And I loved the first book, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I have high hopes, and that is going to be one of the new releases as well, because that was released like a couple of months ago. So really excited about that. Then, while we're talking about... Oh no, let's talk about witches first. Let's talk about witches, shall we? So actually, on the new release front, this... I could not resist. I was in the Waterstones and the lovely lady that works there was like, this is very good, you should read it. And I was like, sure, because I have no backbone and I'm easily influenced. Peer pressure! But this is A Witch's Guide to Magical Inkeeping by Sangu Mandana. It sounds really, really sweet. This is Sangu Mandana's latest release, and would you know it? I happen to have the Secret Society of Irregular Witches right here, which was the first book. So I believe these are not like they're standalones. I think they might be in the same world, but you can read them. The stories certainly sound very different. So this one, the first and the original, is about a witch. She's a witch, but you kind of have to hide your magical powers. So she goes online. Again, this is like urban modern fantasy, and she kind of pretends to be a witch online, like on Insta or whatever. And then that kind of gets out and she has to sort of go away and into hiding, and she becomes like a teacher to these these young witches at like this school. So it sounds a little bit like House on the Cerulean Sea, but with witches. So I'm really looking forward to that. And again, it's got that urban fantasy. And then this one is about a witch. I think she did something naughty. And then she was disgraced. So she's gone off to become an innkeeper and basically run a guest house. And she discovered something that she might be able to get her magic back, but I think she's got to work with someone to do that, and then maybe some romance involved. So it's so pretty. Look at that. Just could not get that. And then, like I was saying, I have a entire witch shelf. So I'm just gonna, you know, for funsies, pull some of these books out for you. I won't go through all of them. What has also kind of kicked off my love is The Bewitching, Sylvia Marina Garcia. I've just read that and oh my god, it was so good. I absolutely loved it. That's more sort of in a slow burn gothic witch vein, but I was like, I need more witches in my life. So I mean, I don't know how, I want to read all of them, but we'll see how we go. So this one is Wild as the Witch. This is by Rachel Griffin. Again, this cover is absolutely stunning. I've been wanting to read this one for ages and ages. This one is from New Times of National Witches. Comes in immersive enemies to lovers contemporary fantasy standalone, which is great because this is a standalone. Then we have, this is another standalone. This is A Witch in Time. This is by Constance Sayers. I have a lot of Constance Sayers books, but I've never read a single one. No, I don't know. They seem to sound really good. So this is 4 Lives, One Woman, A Star-Crossed Love. And this is set in 1895, 1932, 1970, and 2012. And when I saw that, I was just like, first of all, that's similar to The Bewitching because you go through 3 time spans on that one, but also my absolute favorite, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Again, you had that generational thing and you go through different time spans, and I thought that sounded really, really good. It says cursed to relive a doomed love affair, and I was like, oh, come on, yeah, I'm so in the mood for that. Then I have The Lighthouse Witches by C.J. Cook. This, I believe, is a woman she moves into this lighthouse. She's kind of commissioned, she's an artist, and she's commissioned to do a mural in the lighthouse. And she moves in there with her kids, and then sort of spooky things start to happen. And there may be somebody that has been alive for too long or something along those lines. I thought that sounded really good. This one, okay, so Inkblood Sister Scribe by Emma Tors. Again, because I'm easily influenced, I remember buying this. This was a Waterstones Book of the Month last year. Or was it early this year? Something like that. I mean, a while ago, right? And I was like, it was at the counter, and the guy in the counter when I was in Waterstones was like, oh yeah, this is our book of the month. And then sort of talking about it. And he said things like magical library, witches. I was like, cool, I'll take it. You want it? Yes. So it says, deep in the woods of Vermont is a house nobody can find, and a house where Joanna Colto lives alone, protecting a collection of rare books. But these aren't ordinary books. These are books of ancient magic containing spells written in blood. Yes. Joanne's estranged older sister Esther is constantly on the move, attempting to outrun the deadly magic that killed her mother. Now camped out on an island isolated research base in Antarctica, Esther has finally found a sense of happiness and belongings, but when she finds blood in a mirror, she knows she's being watched and hunted. But by who? Now you know why I bought it. But I clearly haven't read it, so let's get it read. And then the other one. J.L. Vamper, Autumn of the Grimmar. I was meant to read Exorcism of Fairies. I'm pointing because it's over there. But J.L. Vamper last month, and I didn't get to it, and I absolutely will get to that. So it's one of my carryovers, actually, from last month's TBR. But I also want to read this one, because this is the first book. I actually have a second book as well. It's the Sister Solstice series. And this is, I think there's four sisters, and they are set. So for 300 years, Sisters Autumn have incited wars, burnt villages, killed kings, and released plagues, all by the bidding of a grimoire. And there's like Sister Winter and Sister Spring and Sister Summer, so they're all like based on the seasons. And she's like the one that gets to Miss Autumn, poor Miss Autumn. She has to do all the dirty work for the world, right? They basically, the premise is that these four witches kind of control everything that happens in the world. But to her amazement, she is asked to go to a kingdom and marry a prince. And she's just like, I'm Autumn. I do the dirty work. I do the horrible stuff. Why am I getting to marry a prince? And apparently our story goes from there. So I thought each one focuses on a different sister. I don't know if that is true. The second one is called Winter of the Wicked. So I'm assuming that focuses on Sister Winter. But it just sounds so good. Okay. And then I have the two books. Actually, I'll do the 25 of my 25 that I've been doing. So last month I did not get around. So actually going in with my witch theme, I had Witch in the Well and The Last Hour Between Worlds. So I did not read Witch in the Well, but it's kind of perfect because I can read it for my witch theme. Yes, I have walked out of shot again. And then The Last Hour Between Worlds, I didn't get to this either. So I definitely want to get to these two this month. But I also have one other one that I want to get to. So one of my subscribers, Andrew, has just read this book. Sorry, I keep walking. Can you imagine me as an actor? I'll just be like, yeah, where's my mark? Oh yeah, I'm over here. So Andrew has read The Last Fairy and The Scholar and the Last Fairy Door by H.G. Perry. That is really hard to say. And he really loved this. And there's a couple of people, Bailey, who's one of my favorite booktubers, and our taste is so weirdly aligned, loved this as well. So I've heard a few people really loving this. This is about, you're in 1920, which first of all I love anything set in the 20s. Gilded and glittering, England's secret magical academy is no place for Clover, who is a commoner. And she's only there to find a cure for her brother Matthew, one of the few survivors of the deadly fairy attacks on the battlefield of World War I. So I feel like it's like an alternate history where there are fairies, and kind of the war was battling against fairies. And I just think that sounds really good. So I'm really, really excited to read that. Also, those two kind of go really well together, don't they? And what goes really, really well with that as well is this. Get a load of that. Isn't that stunning? So this is The Goldens by Laura Wilson. This was a special Waterstones. That is the original cover, which is also incredibly beautiful, but isn't that golden cover stunning? And I figured I've got a lot of like fantasy, romantasy that I'm reading. I'm going to need some palette cleansers. I'm going to need something that isn't fantasy. And what better thing to put in there than thrillers? Thrillers. I love a good thriller. So this one sounds incredible. So this is about Chloe, and she's always wanted to be a writer. And then she meets an influencer called Clara. And they kind of instantly strike up this friendship. But something about Clara. She attracts lots of girls into her kind of world of influencing. And they do all these rituals. It mentions like bonfire rituals and moonlit baptisms. And then people start whispering, this may be a cult. This may be a cult. And that is all I need to know. That is, sounds like, I hope it's a cult. That sounds absolutely like my kind of book. And then I have the new book by Judy Clark. This is The Ghostwriter. And again, this sounds fantastic. So the premise here is that you have a girl whose father has passed away and she's been very estranged from him. He was a famous horror writer. We don't know kind of what went down. They weren't happy families, but she, I think, is struggling. So she has been tasked with writing his life story, his biography. And in the course of doing that, she kind of discovers things about his life. Then romantic suspense is my new favorite thing. I don't know why I've never put these two things together, but hey, I've finally done it. It takes me a while, I know. I get that. So Catherine Cowles, All the Missing Pieces. This I just keep hearing about, and I've serious FOMO because I'm like, I must read this. So this is romantic suspense, and it's about a woman who, and you see the van, I think she kind of like hashtag van life. I think she kind of drives around in her van, but she's also a true crime podcaster, I think, or she like investigates true crime, but she's trying to investigate her sister's disappearance. So it says she channels her loss into hope, traveling the country, covering old cases for her true crime podcast, kind of in a way seeking the justice that she couldn't get for her sister. And then she rolls into this town, with a case, and I don't know if it's her sister's case or not, but she rolls into this town with a case and she meets the local sheriff. And apparently the local small town sheriff is quite the beefcake. Well, in my head, I'm hoping it's, well, he will be in my head. But that sounds really good. So, we're uncovering the mystery. I love anything with a true crime podcast. And we've got some romance. And then the other one that I have been just frothing at the mouth to read is They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. Now, this is, I need to take the buy one, get one half price sticker off there. This one, so this is for me a new release because we've never been able to get this in the UK for some reason. I think Lane Fargo did not have a UK publisher. And then off the back of The Favourites, which is one of my favourite novels of the year, I loved it. That is messy contemporary romance done to its best. I think that's why she now we can have the book. So I was super excited when I saw this. I bought this last month when I was in London. Was it earlier this month? Oh, the days and the weeks and the months, they're just, yeah. But I bought it. I guess I'm super excited. And this just sounds so delicious. So this is like feminine rage and revenge. So we have her Serial and Eliva on the campus of a university, so dark academia in a way as well. And the thing is that she gets rid of bad men. And I think she crosses paths with a girl whose roommate has been assaulted. And they somehow get entangled, and the police is kind of investigating on what's happening, obviously, on this campus. I'm frothing at the mouth. And then I have some new releases, but you're going to have to excuse me for 1 second. Hi, yeah, amuse yourselves, holding music. There we go. Okay, so if you caught my pun earlier... Also, they're so pretty. Okay, if you caught my pun earlier that I talked about Fearing the Flames, the second novel has come out. So that is Wrath of Dragons. It is Olivia Rose Darling. I read Fear the Flames, was it earlier this year? Yeah, I must have been around, I think it was when I was doing my Dragon Readathon. So we're talking about January, February, maybe this year. And I loved it. I can still remember it, which is a good thing. And I saw that this was coming out. I was like, hell yes. So this is the follow-up. We ended on quite an interesting cliffhanger and things that went down in the first book. This first, obviously I'm not going to say what this is about, but if you want to read it, and I do recommend it, certainly the first book, I had a lot of fun. I'll tell you, obviously, once I read it, what this is about, how good this was. But the premise of the story is you have a princess who, when she was born, there was sort of a prophecy, and she bonded with dragons. And I think the prophecy sort of said, like, she was going to bring her father's kingdom down, or take his power or something. And being the father of the year, he stuck her in a dungeon and took away her dragons. And she managed to escape the dungeon, but he was sort of hiding her dragons. So the first book is very much her teaming up with one of the rival kingdoms, like enforcers, to track down her dragons and bring them back, and basically kind of get her power back in a way and get one over on her father, which, good for you, girl. And the romance I loved in that as well. And then, like I said, we ended on quite a cliffhanger, so I'm really excited to find out what happens. Then I donned my silver cloak. Is this not just the most beautiful, delicious cover? So this is Silver Cloak by L.K. Stephen, or Laura Stephen, as she's known for her YA. This is her first foray into adult fantasy. This is supposed to be a romantasy series. In a world where magic is fueled by pleasure and pain, an obsessive detective must infiltrate a gang of dark mages. Welcome to the Silver Cloak saga. Okay, let's unpick just those statements. 1, magic, mages, tick. Magic fueled by pleasure and pain. Yeah, I'm there for that. And an obsessive detective. So this sounds like it's going to be like romantic suspense, romantasy, dark romance, magic, witches. I am so, oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, this is stunning. Oh, I hadn't bought that many. Oh, wow. Okay, we've even got a beautiful, oh yes. I hadn't bought that many beautiful editions up until this point because there weren't that many that had come out in the beginning of the year, but now I'm going to have to do a whole video on all the special editions I've got now. Speaking of, and while I donned my cloak and rode along, I came upon Arcana Academy. So again, this is not the most deliciously beautiful cover. Look at that bow. Look, it's so pretty. Look at that spine. Okay, while I perv over the book. So what is this about? This is by Elise Cover. Love me, hate me, but only look at me like my existence sets you on fire. Wow, I like that. What is it? I don't even know. First installment of an enthralling fantasy romance series. Okay, so Clara Grayswood has survived the underworld of Eclipse City through thievery. Oh, I love a female thief story. Luck and a whole lot of illegal magic. After a job goes awry, Clara is sentenced to a lifetime in prison for inking tarot cards, a rare power reserved for practitioners of the elite Arcana Academy. Just when it seems that her luck has run dry, the Academy's enigmatic headmaster, Prince Calais, offers her an escape for a price. Calais believes that Clara is a perfect tool to help him steal a tarot card from the king and use it to recreate an all-powerful card long lost to time. In order to conceal her identity and keep her close, Calais brings Clara to Arcana Academy, introducing her as the newest first-year student and his bride-to-be. I don't want to read any more than that. Oh, I'm so excited about these books. I had that on pre-order. That's why I was like, oh, what was this about? Because, like, I obviously I'd read the blow, but I was like, oh my gosh, that just sounds amazing. Then another one. This cover is cover goals. I mean, look at those braid edges. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Do we have anything? No. It's a shame. But, I mean, it's just red inside. But, oh my god, those sprayed edges. So, this is Neverthorn. Lesson 1, Save the World. I heard that the protagonist on this is actually 30 or not in her early 20s, which is unusual for fantasy romance, so I like that. But it says, welcome to Neverthorn Academy, where a bunch of magical school misfits are about to save the world. Does that not sound like the first season of Wednesday? Yes, I'm here for it, okay. Since dropping out of Neverthorn Academy after the death of her mother, Hollow Dragon, yes please, I'm going to rename myself Hollow Dragon, has been working as an enchanted jewel thief. Now, in case you haven't noticed by now, I love a thief. Like, if the main female character is a thief or a con artist of some sort, you have me. The last thing she expects is for the school to make an offer she can't refuse. Come back to Neverthorn and join 7 others with secret and magical abilities. In House Phoenix, there they'll be trained in potions, rune casting, and combat. Because Nora, a powerful dark wizard who has been plaguing the magical realm for decades, has the mortal world in his sights. And, so Nocta, not Nora. And the students of House Phoenix are all that stands in his way. Okay, yes, come on. Yes. And then the last one, thank you for sticking with me. If you've made it this far, leave me some sort of a witch. Leave me a witch. I mean, that would be appropriate. And the final book is Blood and Betrayals. And this is by Jeanette Rose and Alexis Rune. Yes, I was influenced into buying this. Yep. Was it? She's big. So, this is Avalon University. Now, I believe this again is urban fantasy. So it says, fear, fury, and fire. To know is not enough. Okay. Power flows to the ancient halls of Avalon University like a never-ending flood. Admission to the elite institute enables students to hone their magic under the watchful eye of their icy headmaster. Yes, sounds good already. A lot of people that I follow on BookTube have read this and really loved it. So yes, I was influenced into buying it. Summer planned to slide through her tenure at Avalon, unnoticed and inconspicuous. She has no interest in learning more about her past or why someone applied to the school on her behalf. Interesting. Her emotional walls keep everybody at bay and her sharp tongue makes people give her wide berth. Yet, despite her best attempts, her emotional armor begins to melt from the feral vampire roommate to the angelic senior who is never dissuaded by her feral disinterest. Maybe this could be a good for her, a new life, yet dark secrets lurk in the halls of Avalon, and soon these same halls are drenched in blood. Yeah. I love indie books. I love, like, the way they just take a lot of care. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, yes. And they're so floppy too. So, those are my books. Like I said, I do have some more witch books. I mean, I have Blood Debts, Witherwood. I have Rise and Divine, Payback's a Witch. I have The Witches of New York. Whispers Most Foul. I have a lot of witch books. And you shall be seeing them in my witch-themed videos. So like I said, leave me a witch if you made it this far. Let me know what you're reading this month, what you're excited about reading, any new releases, any of these books that you are excited and you want me to read first. Let me know. And have a wonderful day. I'll speak to you all soon. Have a magic. Bye.